Hi, in this video I'm going to share with you a system for learning where each note is on the fretboard. Now this is a system which I have personally used. It is a system which I use with all of my students, and I am confident that if you use and apply the concepts, which are very simple, in this video each day for the next few weeks, you only need 10 to 15 minutes, you will have a thorough understanding and knowledge of each note on the fretboard. Okay? Now there are many benefits to gaining this knowledge, and in fact too many to contain within this one video. However, I will make one point. Most guitarists learn how to play guitar using shapes. Okay? So if I had to ask most guitarists watching this video to play me a D chord, the majority of you, not all, will play this D chord. Okay, and this is indeed a D chord, nothing wrong with that. However, it is not a D shape. Now what I mean by that is that in music, chords are not constructed through use of finger patterns. Okay, this is guitar specific stuff. Yes, it facilitates learning quickly, and I'm always an advocate of anything which gets you off the ground quickly. However, there comes a point where we want to understand why this is a D chord, why this is a C chord, why this is a G chord. Okay, so then we may pursue some materials on music theory, how keys are arranged, how chords are built from these keys. Then we get to find out that, for instance, these chords, which are triads, 3-note chords, actually have notes with names. Okay, and now if anyone is unsure of what I'm talking about or what I'm about to talk about, then give me an email and I will forward you a 3-part article series on chord construction. Having a read through those will help you have an understanding of what I'm talking about. So for instance, a D chord has the notes D, F sharp and A. If I merely think D shape, play this, it ends there. That is my only D chord. Okay? If however you understand where the notes are on the fretboard, you understand how to draw whatever notes make whatever chord from whatever key you're in this case D, F sharp and A, you can then find those anywhere in the fretboard. Okay, so here's D, F sharp, A. I could do a different inversion with the D up here. Okay, I could play it here, D, F sharp, A. Okay, another inversion of that. We can have an inversion down here. Different inversions of the same chord that are only possible when you understand which notes form the chord and can then quickly find them on the fretboard. Okay? So now before we move on to the concepts themselves, this knowledge is so important because not only this is my opinion of course, but not only as musicians do we have the obligation to learn as much as we can about music, and not just as it relates to the guitar, we also have to be able to communicate that information with other musicians. So if for instance I come up with, so I'm a player, okay, and I don't know what the notes are on the fretboard. I'm a shape based player now, okay, and this is a shape here which I have, through the process of trial and error, thought, okay, this is a nice chord. So I go into the studio and I want to quickly show this chord to the keyboard player who has no understanding of where the notes are on the fretboard. He doesn't have a clue about the guitar. All he's thinking about is what notes are in that chord. Now if I can't quickly tell him, now I don't even need to know, the chord is a B flat major 7 sharp 11 for anyone who's wondering, maybe not, but if I can't quickly say to him, okay, this is a B flat, this is an A, this is a D, this is an E, okay, go, then there's a breakdown in communication. And many musicians watching this video have probably had that frustrating experience where we then sometimes make the naive assumption that the other person playing whatever instrument he plays doesn't have doesn't have a good enough ear to work out what we're doing. In fact, the problem lies in our lack of an ability to communicate these ideas to anyone else. So hopefully I've sold you the idea using this one example. So let's get on to the techniques or concepts. So, technique 1. Before we begin, I'm going to assume that everyone watching understands the chromatic scale, or all 12 notes in Western music. If anyone watching doesn't understand what each note is, how to what order they come in, give me an email. I'll send you some lesson materials, and then you will understand this perfectly. The next thing we need to understand is simply what the note names are of the 6 open strings. Okay, so we have E, A, D, G, B and E. Okay, so let's continue under the assumption that everyone watching understands these things already. Okay, so what we want to do is set the metronome to a slow enough speed that we can think. Okay, now it's not necessary to use a metronome, however it will push you forward and force you to try and do things in time, as opposed to being lazy and thinking, oh, I'll get this next note after dinner. Okay, so starting on the 6th string, we're going to ascend up to the 12th fret. Each accidental we'll call out as a sharp, and on the way back down we'll call them flats. Okay, so this will be better explained through the process of doing. Okay, so I have my metronome on now, and mine's is set to 75 BPM, though I would suggest a slower speed to begin with, maybe 50 BPM. If you find that's too tricky, slower. If it's too easy, faster. Just common sense really, okay? But make it easy for yourself. So I'm going to ascend to the 12th fret, calling out all the accidentals as sharps, and descend, calling them out as flats. Okay, so E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. Now I'll descend, calling out the flats. E, E flat, D, D flat, C, B, B flat, A flat, G, G flat, F, E. Okay, now I'll pick the B string. Just to quickly run through this, let you see how it works. B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B. Now I'll descend with flats. B, B flat, A flat, G, G flat, F, E flat, D, D flat, C, B. Okay? So you would do that for all 6 strings. Okay? Now the reason we only got to the 12th fret and back is because everything above there is just basically a mirror image of down here. Now if it helps, by all means continue potentially to the 24th fret. Some of you may have crazy guitars that have 27 frets, possibly more. Some of you may be playing 7-string or 8-string guitars. You just need to use the starting note. Everything will be the same relative to whatever the starting note is. So yeah, you do that for all 6 strings. Okay, you may decide to ascend from the 6th string to the 1st string and back down, really doing it thoroughly, but all the way up will be fine. Okay, now this is the easiest one. So the next technique is learning where each note is on each fret. Now this is a little bit trickier, and this is where you probably have to have the metronome a little slower, okay? Because the notes will not follow a logical progression. We won't be going E, F, F sharp, G, okay? So let me just begin by demonstrating it. We're going to go from the 6th string up to the 1st string, move up a fret, back down, up, down, all the way up to the 12th fret, and back down. what we get, and I'll give you just a little wee sample of how this will work, ascending then descending. What we get is F, A sharp, D sharp, G sharp, C, F, we move up a fret, F sharp, C sharp, A, E, B, F sharp, move up another fret, G, C, F, A sharp, D, G, up another fret, G sharp, D sharp, B, F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, up another fret, A, D, G, C, E, A, okay? So my knowledge of that could be done with some brushing up. But anyway, we continue to ascend all the way up to the 12th fret. Then, on the way back down, we call out flats. So we get E, A, D, G, B, E, E flat, B flat, G flat, D flat, A flat, E flat. Okay, continuing all the way back down again. D, G, C, F, A, D, all the way back down. Now some of them are tongue twisters when said at higher speed, so watch out for that. And probably when you get it to a certain speed, it might even be easier just to think of the note names rather than trying to speak them out very quickly. Technique 3. In this technique we are going to, for lack of a better description, zigzag up the fretboard, like so. Okay, so a very, very lovely sounding example. This one is more difficult than the last, as I'm sure you're delighted to hear, and this is really testing out your knowledge in the most unlinear of ways. Now you can take this exercise and make it as hard as you like, maybe going from the first to the third, or to the first to the fourth, or simply sticking to the original version is going to guarantee that you get the most out of it, really. So I'll demonstrate going up sharps, coming down flats. So we get F, B, D sharp, A, C, F sharp, move it up a fret, G, C sharp, A sharp, E, C, F sharp, up another fret, G, C sharp, F, B, D, G sharp, okay? Coming back down, we would get E, A flat, D, G flat, B, E flat, move it down a fret, D, B flat, F, D flat, G, E flat, move it down again, okay? Now, as you can see, I'm slightly rusty in this one because it is quite difficult. Continue that all the way back down, have the metronome on a slow speed so it's easy. Now this isn't many of you will be like, yeah, I'm going to try and get that to 1,000,000 miles an hour. It's not about playing it fast, it's merely about putting your brain under pressure to get the notes, okay, without having a linear way of finding them, okay, which takes each note out of context and allows you to find it in the fretboard without having to relate it back to, you know, if I want to find an A note on the 6th string, I don't want to have to go E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, all the way up to A, okay? You want to have memorised A, here's an A here, here's an A here, here's an A here, and so on, right? Which takes me to the next technique. Technique 4. In this final technique of your grueling fretboard mastery session, which could be a nice way to describe it, we are going to pick one note, have a metronome on a slow speed, and find that note all over the fretboard to the click. Okay, if we pick the note C, finding all the different C notes that we can all over the fretboard. Now this is really getting into how we apply this sort of stuff. Okay, so yeah, if you practiced all 4 of those techniques for 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, however long it takes you each day, over the next few weeks, I guarantee that once that initial sort of brain busting trying to find notes and strange patterns is over and done with, you're going to find that you can find notes in the fretboard pretty quickly. Now the next step is to apply that. So what I suggest is read more about chord construction, start finding these shapes all over the fretboard. Okay, when you're improvising over chords, try targeting the root note, the third, the fifth, the seventh. There's so many things that you can do with this. Create your own little arpeggio shapes, if you want to call them that, on the fretboard, but from a theoretical point of view. You know, if I'm thinking of an A minor arpeggio, I don't want to just go, oh, that has a shape that I have. I want to think, okay, A minor with the seventh, A, C, E, G. Okay, then I want to go to the guitar and find those notes without having to have remembered the shape. Okay, so I want to pick up the guitar and think, okay, A, C, E, G, C. So, I hope from this video you have gained a little practice routine for learning where all the notes are on the fretboard, and I know if you apply them, as I said in the beginning, you're going to get big results from this stuff. Okay, now once you know by name where all the notes are, then it's really up to you what direction you take that knowledge in. All that's important is that you use it. Okay. Now you'll find yourself thinking more like a musician. Okay, now you might decide to go and learn how to read music now that you know where all the notes are. You might use it to create better voice leading in your chord progressions, to find new inversions of chords, to understand songs you've been playing for years maybe, to play arpeggios over chords. It will help your lead playing, it will help your communication with other players, it will help you, you know, get a keyboard. Okay, get a little recording set up, get a keyboard. You don't have to understand how to really play the keyboard. If you know the notes in a C chord, C, E and G, get the keyboard, find C, E and G, voila, you have the chord. So yeah, you're really starting to think like a musician. Now, if there's anything that I've not cleared up in this video, or any questions that you have about using this, about learning it, if you want the chord construction articles, if you want some charts of the notes on the fretboard. Now to make one last point, I suggest trying to do this stuff from memory most of the time. Okay, now we can test ourselves, right? We know that when we get to the 12th fret, it's the same notes as the open string, an octave higher. Okay, most of us know what the notes are at the 5th fret through the tuning process of 5th fret, next same note as the open string, 5th fret, 5th fret, 4th fret, 5th fret, right? That's the only one that's different. Okay, so there's 3 points of reference. Just check yourself when you get to them. Okay, did you land on that note and it was an A? Because if it wasn't, you made a mistake somewhere. Then you know what to fix. Instead of sitting with a chart and try to be like F, okay, B, or is that a D sharp? Okay, and then when you're coming back down thinking A flat, G sharp, do they match up if maybe your chart only has sharps on it? So the point is, try and do it from memory, okay? Because when you use this stuff, you're going to be using it from memory, okay? Not from you don't want to be carrying about a folder of papers with you everywhere, detailing every last piece of knowledge that you want to be able to use, okay? And by its very definition, you can only really use what you've integrated into your memory. So that's my final point on that. So yeah, take this information, use it, and good luck with your playing.